In the second part, I would like to expand a little bit more relation between body, mind, consciousness, awareness, and I don't know where's the end. Do you? Maybe it's a good time to tell you the story about a thought that came to me a long, long time ago, and it's all the time with me. Just not all the time, but you know, the thought was so interesting that from time to time I have a thought about the thought. I remember I was in grade 4, 5, or maybe 3. I don't remember exactly, but it was in primary school. I was small at that time, I might say, not a thinker yet. And I was doing project for, probably for geography. Maybe it was for something else. And then the project was about nature, to do like a replication, small replication in the box, nature replication. So I took box and put there imitation of pond, like in the glass. I put some soil around, and I was thinking how to recreate animals as well. So it was like I was playing a fun project. And when I started to plant real grass in my soil, in real soil as well, I took that blade of grass in my hands and I started to divide because it was too big. So I started to divide that grass like in half. And I put that other half away. And I saw it's still too big. So I divided again in half. And then I started for no reason divide that wherever was left in half, in half, in half, until I was not able to, because the dividing was so interesting. And the thought came to me, how far I can go? Is it possible to divide even something I won't be able to see? So how far I can go in that dividing, that thought to the bigger to smallest part was like born and stayed with me for a long, long time. Do you have kind of thoughts that are interesting and bothering you from time to time? So you start to search, and maybe from nowhere, like that resolution is coming, or probably didn't yet, because I'm not sure if I resolve how far still yet. I'm not sure. I still searching. So it is good to to be in that state of searching, even in my age. And when I started to study that relation between body, mind, and consciousness, awareness, and is there an end to it? Because when you look at the body, you can see body. What about mind? Can you define mind? Mind could be understood as brain, left and right, logical left, right, more creative. But still, something has to be connected with brain. So brain can be developed. Otherwise, if it's no connection with brain, So something you are not able to see is connected to our brain. And for my understanding, that connection is mind. So body has brain, and mind is something that is connected with brain, in my understanding. And consciousness, it's why consciousness is it's about above mind, because mind, it's like a hub, memory hub, that I can put everything there. And like you see and understand that people from different countries and raised differently, they're different because their mind was programmed differently. It's not like they're wrong and we're right. It's not about that, but you can program your mind in constructive and destructive way. That's the point. And if you are not conscious and you are only in your mind, then you are acting wherever it is only in your mind. That's why that relation between body, mind, consciousness, it's so important. It is so important. Why? Because then you can free yourself from your mind. And then, only then, you can feel that you have choice. Because you have consciousness. And you can choose from those levels where you want to be. When you will understand and experience, because I experience all of it, and to tell you the truth, I felt like a prisoner. When I blamed, probably it was the most dramatic time in my life. Yes, it was the most dramatic. And when I was gifted, I might say it is a gift to me, those levels of consciousness, that knowingness about those levels of consciousness. And when I started to experience higher level of consciousness, I felt like I'm free. And I said, oh, so I do have a choice all the time. I can choose and I can let it go wherever I don't want to, right? I know, I understand. I understand that you might be in the position not to believe whatever I'm saying. I understand because you have so much in your mind that it doesn't make sense yet for you. So you have to empty some stuff that it's not helping you to understand, because that knowledge is truly about levels of consciousness. It is like freedom. I'm free to experience. I'm free to experience. I came to this world to experience that consciousness, to be conscious. And I don't know where is the ending. So I'm conscious because I'm aware. I'm aware that there is consciousness. So wherever the level you are, and usually we are on different levels. We're here, we might drop here, but it's not the point, because the point is that when you are conscious, you know where you are. You can make yourself conscious. Oh, I dropped myself, so I have to lift myself up again, because I know that life will go against me, and I want to experience my life in fullest, because I have a consciousness, so I can grow, I can be conscious. Why I wanted to make a second part? Because I know that repetition, by repetition, left brain will take information and the right brain will make sense of it. But what about that repetition? You repeat, you repeat, you repeat, and for each person is different, different times. I always was thinking about myself that I'm a slow learner, so I needed many, many repetition to understand. But when I understood, and I wanted to understand more. So I want to repeat again, to know that you have body and to experience body. Body itself has to be experienced by something else. So we know that in our mind, right? If you think that you are only body, right? How do you know? How do you know that you have that body? So it's something like you can observe that book, right? Because you can observe. So something to experience, something else needs to observe. So that's the expansion of understanding. That something else must be above to know what's going on, right? So that is our mind, because our mind is connected with all sensory, and tells what's going on in my body. But how the mind knows what's going on in the mind? How the mind knows? It's the same concept all the time. It is like that blade of grass that you were dividing in half. The same concept. You go to that to area that you won't be able to see. And mind by itself, like a book doesn't know that it is book, because it is book, right? But I look at the book and, oh, it is book. So something else is above. So what is that else? It's like a consciousness. Oh, I'm conscious. So it's like another entity. You might think like that entity, that it's hard to prove because it's so invisible, you might say, but it is. My consciousness is aware about my mind, and mind feels the body. So that's the connection. And when you on operating room and they put you in sleep, there is a disconnection. You're still alive, so, but you are not consciously, your consciousness is like off for a while, right? But you are still alive, but you don't know. So it has to be consciousness to know that I am here. Just think about it. Yes, I have to be conscious to know that I have mind and body. So that's the connection, that's the connection. So I connected all the time. I'm connected. And because of that concept of connection, something has to be aware that there is consciousness. Aware that there is consciousness. Is there something else more? And that more is our source of life. We call that source of life God, divine, power. And people are afraid. People are afraid about that source of life. But if you cut yourself, because you are still alive, but you want to cut yourself from that source of life, it is like you cut yourself here and you don't know. You don't know that you are alive. So if you are alive, you are connected. But your consciousness, it's not conscious yet about those levels. So you don't have to be afraid about source of life. Because source of life, I don't know where's the end. And I'm happy to experience my life here. But the source of life is above. And I want to learn, and I want to learn how to live and experience my life. When I'm here, that experience of life is mayhem. But I do have a choice. Do I want to stay here? If I'm aware and conscious about those levels, I don't want to live my life here. I know I am aware, because it's good to aware what the blame will do for you. It's good to be aware, but I don't want to live my life on this level. So that awareness that there are levels that I can choose to live. Because success, happiness is here when I grow in those levels of consciousness, not here, but here. And I want to experience that. But what you don't know, that you might be freeze here, and you are wherever you programmed your mind, and you are not consciously connected. You don't know about that connection, and you even refuse that connection. You think that I am creator of my life. Yes, you are creator of your life in your mind. So whatever is in your mind, is it you? How many things you believed in and they were BS? So now you are saying that you are your mind. We must challenge everything, whatever is here, because there is a lot of BS. There are many people trying to push us here and say, oh, it's a good experience, that's the life. No, no. The life is in growing. We were there some time ago when we didn't understand. But now we can create so many beautiful things, so beautiful music we can create, so we know that we can be here as well. And when you are here and you are so jealous about those who created those beautiful things, of course, it's understandable that you are so limited in your understanding that you want to destroy that part. So look at yourself in more sophisticated way, because that's what we are. We want to grow in our consciousness because we are aware that there is that consciousness, there is that connection, and mind is only between, like a tool for consciousness to experience and understand through left and right brain. So be aware, make yourself more sophisticated. If you want, then, only then, you're gonna be puppet. Because if someone will want to use you, then they will program you to be their slave, to not even question whatever they want to program you. They put belief in you and they will say, you must believe. You don't have even power to ask. No, right to ask the question. And then that's the problem. That's the problem when you are only in your mind. Be conscious and challenge your beliefs. It's nothing to do with religion, because we think that, oh, religion is related to beliefs. No, we have so many strange beliefs that they are not related to religion. So I don't want to talk in this part about religion. I just want you to be more conscious. And if you are part of religion, that's fine. That's fine. But be conscious, be more conscious, be more conscious. If you become more conscious, then you will understand more that the source, that it's not against us, you, nothing to do even with religion, because religion was created by man. Some of them were conscious, some of them were not that conscious. The same with political system. Some political systems are on the higher level of consciousness. Some are here. So when we start to understand that experience, life experience in the bigger picture, then we take responsibility for our life. It's fun. It's truly fun to take responsibility and do as much as I can. But only when you know that connection, that source of life, I might say, that comes to us. Respect that source of life, and you will understand that respect is just the respect for my life and for life of others. If I have that understanding clear, I won't harm anyone, because there is a respect for that source of life, for my life and for life of others. So make yourself conscious as much as possible. I just hope that I made you more sophisticated, and I hope that you will have willingness is here willingness to learn about those levels that I will try to present in my next many videos to come. So this is about presentation about mind, all what I would like to share. And please go back to my previous videos and expand your knowledge. So when we will start to talk about those levels, you will have more understanding. And by repetition, using the left brain, your right will take it and will understand all.